Hello and welcome back. It's Saturday night. Thanks everyone for joining. And we're streaming live to 7 platforms again, or 7 destinations, let's say. And I'm just going to fix my audio here because I can hear myself repeating back the joys of live. And let me just fix this. Hope everyone's having a great night. So why can I hear myself? Always something you don't expect. Okay, well I'm just going to mute myself now to solve the problem. Hopefully this is not getting transmitted onto the live as well. You know what it is? I think one of the channels in the browser is coming through live, maybe from Instagram. Let's just check and see. Could be something like that. And hopefully we've got a few more people on tonight as well, because I have a couple of notes I want to go through. A couple of updates. So yeah. But I'd love to know why I'm hidden. Here we go. I got a new mic. And there's an extra mic on the camera. A new Rohn NTG, I think I spoke about that. Or did I? I tested it recently. And that's why I could hear myself twice, and you probably could too. Okay, hopefully that has fixed the problem and there isn't duplicated audio on anything. If there was right there from the start, I apologize. That's life. You live and learn. But it seems to be okay now. I can hear the background music and I can't hear the double up of my own voice, which is very annoying. So hopefully that wasn't too bad. Anyway, welcome back. Saturday night. I hope you're all having a good evening so far. We're live. I hope we're live on the main Instagram as well, because I see it's telling me here in the side panel that the second Instagram account is unable to connect, but I see it live on the other side. So we're live to 2 Instagram accounts, to LinkedIn, Twitter, known as X. Sorry, Glenn. X, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And I can see the stream on YouTube right now, so everything looks good as far as I can see. I hope you're all seeing what I see in the screen, and we're matching up. I'm sending out the right thing. Okay, so first of all, the first bit of news tonight is thank you all for connecting with some of the videos. We ran some, tried to push out a few of the videos, some of the shorts on YouTube, and they got picked up. And one of the personal development video as well, people latched onto it a little bit, and we're now we're over the 1,000 subscriber mark since last week, which is a bit of a surprise. Didn't expect that to happen so quickly. I still have to get more watch hours and stuff like this, but we have 1,000 subscribers, which is great. It helps support the channel, and continue on doing this and figuring out the best way to move forward on it. So yeah, I think we're just over 1,028 or something like that at last count. What's it say here? 1.02, 1,028, something along those lines. So thank you to everybody that did subscribe. I really appreciate that. Let's see if I can, if the chat if everything is being sent though. I'm always nervous about using this restream thing. Not the restream technology specifically, but just to make sure that the image is going out, that people are seeing us, that the live is actually there. Okay, so I can see it on Instagram. That's good. Let me click. This says the second one is able to connect, the newer account. Let me click it on LinkedIn. Let's say hello to everyone on LinkedIn. Anyone joining there on LinkedIn? Let's have a look and see, is the live there? Yes, it is. I can see it's 8 minutes in. Great stuff. LinkedIn. We're live on LinkedIn. Let's check Twitter, or X as it's known as now. Let's see, can we spot it on X? Yeah, we're live on X. Great stuff. What else? Twitch. Twitch is one of the newer channels that we set up there. It says offline. Okay, so we may still have a problem with Twitch. Although, no. It says that I'm offline as a user, but live is on. Let me click it and see. Have we got a live stream on Twitch? Almar is live. Watch now. Let's have a look. You see my face? I mean, it's telling me that I'm live on Twitch, but I don't see a picture. Why does it say offline? If anybody knows about Twitch and what might be going on there, it says I'm live, but the screen is blank. So whatever's going on with Twitch, something's not right. It says I'm offline. Don't know why. That's one we'll have to look into for next time. Okay. Well, Twitch we'll fix. Let's have a look and see. Are we live on Facebook? So Facebook is one of the other ones. I see one viewer. That means I must be on there if somebody's watching. I think I see the stream coming up now on Facebook. Yeah, we've got it on Facebook as well. And finally, click this for YouTube. Yeah, you can see we're all good on YouTube. So great. The more we do this, the better it will get. The more streamlined, but there's always going to be a few hiccups and hitches. So Twitch is one. Maybe the second Instagram account is one. But let me actually look at the second Instagram account. If I just click, let me go to the page and we'll find out. I'm sure someone's going to tell me after the fact anyway. Click the page. Do we see a live stream? Do you know where you'd see it? I'll probably see it from the other one. From the first account. Let's see, does it show up there? So it's live from my original account. That's okay. Let's check on the second one. I do see it. Yeah, I actually do see. Do you know what I probably did? I wonder did I take the stream key? I think the stream key was wrong. So do you know what? I'm gonna fix this. Let's try and get it right. This is funny enough. tonight's topic is about learning from failure, and that's what this is, learning from failure. So on Instagram, what we have to do here is we have to go back to Instagram, hit create, hit live video. It does show the video when I go to do that, so it's saying that I'm live. I wonder what the delay is. So if it put me, that's probably a minute. Okay, it looks to be live. If anybody can confirm live on the Alnamar Tech without the underscore, the newer one that has 103 followers on it, put a message in the chat if you see that one. And we're live there. That's great. I can see I'm live on the original Alnamar underscore Tech, which is my first one. So that's good. Okay, we're figuring it out. We're getting there. And let's go back then. I think we're a lost cause on Twitch probably. Twitch doesn't want to play ball. It says we're live, but then it shows nothing. But that's weird. But it does say we have one viewer on Twitch. Somebody's just watching the blank screen. Fair play to you. Yeah, Twitch is not playing ball. Okay. Well, we'll test that again. We'll get Twitch up and running. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate you kind of sticking in while I just make sure all the streams are up and running. It does tell me I've got a few viewers on each platform, which is great. Yeah, so we're over the 1K subscriber mark on YouTube, which is a great milestone. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and hopefully that continues to grow and we can bring some valuable content throughout the weeks and months. And if you do want to support the channel, there's a link in the bio for a Patreon, so you can sign up a membership there. It's a small amount and it'll help support the content and keep the channel going. Next week we're going to have our first special guest. So yeah, I did want to do that, and that was a plan of mine in the background, to have some guests on, you know. So we'll have somebody join on a call, conference call, and we'll bring them in here and have a split screen. Right now you're just, you know, looking at me, but we'll get a guest in next week, and I'm still making sure that I'm actually live on this. This is what I need to be sure. Let's just go to my YouTube channel and be 100% on this. Yeah, I'm still there. Everything's just like lagging when I check into YouTube, but it seems to be still on. Okay, great. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. Hopefully everybody can see this and we're grand. So yeah, next week we're gonna have our first live guest, and it is gonna be my brother Gary O'Mara. So I did mention a book recently, which was co-authored by my brother Gary of Wood and Wool, Ken Davis and Gary O'Mara, about the furniture and carpet industries in Navan, which again, there's huge storied history there of that. And we're going to have my brother on next week. Now that's just one thing. One small part of what we'll be talking about next week. Obviously a lot of it will be about, you know, business, personal development, success, failure, and everything in between, and all the things it takes and all the challenges it brings. And my brother Gary's done a lot in business. He's well, I'll let him tell a story next week, but he's done a lot. He's got years of experience and a wealth of knowledge. So I'm really happy that he's agreed to come on as the first guest for live Saturday night on this show, and hopefully we'll have him on many more times and have many more interesting guests on as we go along over the coming weeks and months. But so there will be formats where it'll be a topic like this, and I have some notes I'm going to go through tonight. But yeah, from time to time we'll have some special guests on, so that's great. Looking forward to that. So yeah, learning from failure is one of the topics I mentioned before, and it's something that touches everybody, but it's how you deal with it that's different. And just to kind of give, I suppose, to frame it a little bit, I wanted to jump into some of the quotes that you may or may have not known about failure, that some people have shown. So let me see if I can find what I had on quotes, failure best quotes, and there are quite a lot of them actually. There's another guy that I have queued up as well, just some other of his best quotes, and if we have time we'll have a look at that as well. But just to, what is failure? What is it to you? What does it mean? So let me share the screen for this, and we'll have a little look. So hopefully you can see that there. Yeah, it looks good. The first one here is interesting. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. And I fully agree with that. It's actually part of the path. It's a stepping stone to success. The only, I suppose, exception to me is if something is very, very easy. You don't have to fail at absolutely everything, right? So if I want to grab this bottle and take a drink, you know, I don't have to fail to learn anything. I can just take a drink, which I will. And that's fine. When I say like failure is a part of the process, it's a part of the process for anything, for difficult things, for lofty goals, for, you know, challenging goals that you set to achieve. If it's something big and it's worth aiming for, it's worth fighting for, it's usually going to be difficult. And if it's not, because, you know, anybody can do these things if it's simple, but if something worth attaining that you may want, or it's a challenge that will fulfill you to, if you achieve it, it's probably going to be difficult if it's something big. So setting big goals is great, and failure is a part of it. Let's click on. When you take risks, you learn that there will be times when you succeed and there will be times when you'll fail, and both are equally important. Yeah, that's also very true. The one who fails and gets up is stronger than the one who never tried. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. If I try my best and fail, well, I've tried my best. I remember hearing another one. It's okay to try and fail, but it's not okay. It's not okay to fail to try, but it is okay to fail. This one, I think we might all know this, is from Thomas Edison. I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work or don't work. Every failure is just another step closer to a win. Never stop trying. I'm not going to skip, I'm only going to go through another few of these, but just to give you an idea of the kind of thoughts out there, quotes on failure. Success is going from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. Well, it's part of the process. Do not judge me by my success, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Nelson Mandela. So very important. It's you only fail when you quit. In the number of failures, if you continue on and continue on until you succeed, until it happens, well then each failure is not in vain. Each failure is just a learning, a part of the learning process. It's just feedback. You know you have to change something. I like this one actually. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. So that's mindset again. No matter how many times you're defeated in something or you fail at something, don't let your mind be defeated in it. You have to move on, learn from it, adapt and overcome. Failure is good as long as it doesn't become a habit. Well, the habit is not to fail and fail and fail and constantly fail. You have to, the important part there is you must learn from each failure. You can't just do the same thing again and expect a different result. You know, that's insanity. You have to take the information, you have to learn what you can as much as possible from that failure and then improve upon it. And that will take you hopefully eventually to the success. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new, or I would even add to that, anything challenging or difficult. And this, you always pass failure on your way to success. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. There's Bill. It's fine to celebrate success, but it's more important to heed the lessons of failure. I think that's really it. It's the lessons from failure that you have to implement. You have to think about it really cautiously, try and understand all the main parts involved. I have some notes here that I put down that besides the quotes there, but I think that it's just interesting to see some of those thoughts on what failure is. Maybe a lot of people, and I did in the past, a long time ago, had a thought that if you failed something, all right, it wasn't meant to be. You have to go and try something else. It's not for you. And I had that thought, I had that mindset at one point, but I now know that that's not how you achieve anything. And failure is a natural, normal part of the process and the path to success, the road to success in anything. And okay, so let me just move to some of the notes that I had. Yeah, so again, we touched on some of the quotes, but I suppose over recent years, I've talked about this only in the last couple of weeks. Some of the failures, excuse me, that I went through, and a lot of it was to do when I was trying to switch careers. You know, move from being an audiologist into IT again. And even before I worked in IT, I had, worked in electronics years ago, and I'd built or rebuilt some of my own PCs, so I was always technical. It wasn't that I didn't know anything, but I went to go in, as I mentioned before, on the network engineer route, and that was very challenging. And I ended up, I think, I had to get I think six exams that I had to attend. So 6 exams for all of the network engineers, and I think I ended up going to the exam center probably at least double that. I'd say 10 to 12 times in order to get the 6. And yeah, the CCNA, CCDA, and CCNP, the professional level, the CCNP especially was some of the most difficult stuff. I'd say even the CCNA was probably more difficult at the start. That was the first thing I did when I decided I was going to switch and go and work in IT. And that may have been even more challenging because I thought I knew a little bit about networking and, you know, home networking, your PC, plugging in a router, connecting a network cable, things like this. But when it gets to the enterprise side of things, where, you know, that your internet service provider would do, and how to set up routes between border gateway routers and the routing protocols that these ISPs use, there's so much to it. And the 12-week training that I went on to learn about this, I was, I have to say, dumbfounded for the first couple of weeks. And was it 12 weeks? I think it was. There was so much new information, so many new concepts, and, you know, I thought, I'll be up for this, I can do it, I'm smart enough, I can figure it out, I can work hard. But it was definitely the hardest thing for me that I've ever done. And I came out the other end of it and passed. I finished first in the class, finished all the exams, but I have to admit, I did fail again. I failed 2 or 3 of them in there. And did I fail twice? I think I failed twice. There were 3 exams that I had to do, and I failed twice, but then I resat them and I got them again. But I did it through memory for some of the things. It wasn't true. It wasn't that I fully understood the concepts, and that's an interesting thing, you know. Because you expect that if you go through that kind of training that you'll come out the other side, you'll really understand it. But I just used memory techniques. I have a good memory, and I was able to learn a lot of it through memory, funnily enough, and just memorize answers and configurations and things that I needed. And it was only later on, after I did the first part, that I started to understand it. And when I started going in to try and move up the level to the professional level certification, that's when things started to click a little bit. Still very difficult, still found it really difficult, but it started to come together a bit more in my head. I started to understand it a little bit more, and it was sticking with it when I was lost. And I went in again, then I sat exams and I failed on the professional level, failed 2 or 3. I think I failed, did I fail all of them? Probably. But I went back and I resat each one of them again. I think the last one I had to sit twice, so maybe more on the very last, on the troubleshooting. And eventually I got it. If anyone knows me personally, then, you know, a few years ago they would have seen me posting times where I was going into these Cisco exams and, you know, coming out and with the certification if I got it. And there were times when I didn't, of course, but, you know, they were huge challenges, and failure was just a part of it, and I just had to get used to it. It's disappointing, very disappointing, but I knew that if I just stopped at that point, well, then it was all in vain. It was all wasted effort, wasted attempts. So I decided just to keep going, even though they were expensive. You had to keep paying the money again for the certifications, or to reset the exams, the exam fees. But I just decided I'm going to keep going until I get them. And so I did. I kept going, and eventually I got them all. And that's what led me then into the IT jobs. Well, it moved me on to the next level, where I was a network engineer, and then eventually a site reliability engineer, then, you know, team lead, then manager of team, and now senior manager, and working in software development in SRE, site reliability engineering. And I just had the mindset that whatever it takes, just stay curious and keep learning, be willing to fail and fail and fail again until you get to where you need to get. So that were big challenges over the year, just personally, and well, in the career side of things. There's way more than that, of course. Personal stories of failures. I think, you know, I've spoken about us trying to work towards getting the house and the family side of things, and that took a long time as well, way longer than we would have expected or did ever expect, but we got there eventually last year. You know, failure was an ongoing, continual part of that process, but what can you do? You have to continue on. But it's a great skill to understand that the only thing you have to keep doing is adjusting it slightly, get more information, see where you went wrong, and keep pushing forward, and it'll change. Eventually it will change. Eventually persistence beats resistance, and you'll get through to the other side if you just don't quit. And I truly believe that, because I've seen it in action, even though it might take a long time. Just stay persistent and it will work out. So I think I don't know whether failure is normalized nowadays. You know, some people assume that if you fail, it's not meant to be. But I really think it needs to be normalized to allow people the room to fail. If you're going to try risky things, well, not risky, if you're going to try challenging things, there will be inherent risk. But if you're going to try challenging things and going to try and push the boat out in terms of creativity and innovation, you're going to fail, and that's part of the iterative process on the way to success, as I keep on saying. So I think we should really normalize that. And people say failure, I think it's just a step by step. Maybe that is more normal. I don't know how everyone else thinks about that. The next note I have is really analysing failure. So the importance of conducting analysis after experience of failure to identify key learnings and areas for improvement. You know, and I think that's the key. Analyse where you went wrong. Adapt. Change things. Overcome. Move forward. Try again. But the mindset then is where it holds it all together. Be resilient. Persevere. And take everything you learned forward into the next thing. So that positive mindset, you know, it leads into mental health. You have to have a strong, resilient mindset, and it's difficult sometimes. We all struggle with it. And learning is just a big part of that. To continuously learn, continuously be curious, and move forward. But learning from failure, you know, is a massive topic. One of them that I wanted to kind of touch on next week, or well, not next week, but the week after, is what I mentioned before. It's health before wealth, or health before success, in a way that has to become number one in order for you to have the energy and have the ability to stay focused on your goals, is to, you know, be well, your health and well-being, and looking after that. That really is paramount above everything else. And if you don't have that energy to stay on track with your goals, it can be down to you're leaving something out, you're missing or neglecting another area possibly, and we've all done it. But I think starting at the baseline, or the basis of it all, the foundation of it all, has to be your own health. So very important before anything is set up for you know, your steps to success. You're learning from each attempt at something. You have to have a foundation, and that really has to be your physical and mental health foundation in order for you to have the energy and focus to move forward on these things. Yeah, I just want to say hello. There's a few people connected I can see here, so again, welcome. Thanks for everybody for jumping in, sticking with us on this. Is really only it's only our second Saturday live. I did one during the week there, which was just me testing this setup. Didn't test it enough, obviously. If a couple of them didn't connect, but maybe that's just this technology that I have in here, this restream technology, or maybe I did something incorrect in between. It looks like they're going out. I think the only one that's a problem is Twitch, but we'll find out afterwards. Yeah, Twitch. It's telling me I'm live here, but I don't. One person is connected, and I don't know whether that's just a user or me. We'll see. In the coming weeks, yeah. So the next one after our first guest, Health for Wealth, and getting into reprogramming your mind is something I want us to put some tools in place for that, and put, kind of give you some information on things that I've used over the years for reprogramming your mind. And it's not just video content. I know I've shown a video not too long ago that I used to watch a lot, but that is a big part of the course. But there's much more to it than that. Goal setting, some books that I did share as well recently, and then habits. But implementing all of those things as well, and the strategies to doing that can be a tricky thing to achieve. A lot of the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do or to leave out. So you think, oh well, it's only a small thing, but 100 small things left out that could really benefit you, have a massive impact and can really be detrimental then overall. So this is where habit stacking comes back into play as well. And there are a couple, just to go back to some of the quotes that I used to read. There's one guy called Jim Rohn, and he had a lot of amazing seminars and talks and things that he recorded videos and stuff for. But I pulled up some of his quotes as well. And let me just go and switch my screen over so you can actually see them. So this guy, Jim Rohn, amazing guy. If you ever get a chance, just pull up a video of his on YouTube and have a listen to him. It's really good. And yeah, I remember this one. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. So important to make your own plans. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary. Very true. A lot of this is, again, fear of failure stuff. Addressing that. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you have to settle for the ordinary. It's the same one. Learn how to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. You have two choices. You can make a living or you can design a life. And I know this one well. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. This is from a video I talked. I think I have it in audio somewhere that I listened to a few times. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. And we must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline is everything, and this is true. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Either you run the day or the day runs you. I know I said that before. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. If you are not willing to risk the unusual, we read that one. That's a popular one of his. What's this one? I don't know. Have I read this before? If you have pennies, you start with pennies. If you have nothing, you start with nothing. If you got handicaps, you start with handicaps. If you're ill, you start ill. If you're young, you start young. If you're old, you start old. If you're behind, you start behind it. You just don't make any excuses. I think the key from that really is just start from wherever you are. Accept where you are and the responsibility that it's you that has to take you where you want to go. For things to change, you have to change. You can't wish for everything else externally to change. You have to change. You have to change your attitude towards things, your thought process towards things. If you feel like all of these things are to blame, everything that you have to work with is to blame, well then that's going to hold you back. It's going to keep you down. Because this is what you have to work with. And so sometimes it is easier to blame those things, because then it means we don't have to try. Sometimes we don't want to try. The human brain just wants to keep us safe and secure and dry and warm and fed. It doesn't want us to be out there risking our ass. If you want to have more, you have to become more. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. If you grow, everything grows for you. So look up that guy, look up Jim Rohn. Check out some of his videos, he's really good. I mentioned before that Tony Robbins, who I met, Tony Robbins was mentored by Jim Rohn, so he kind of learned a lot of his stuff from Jim Rohn. There are a few guys in that arena, in that niche, that personal development side of things, but I always like Jim Rohn. If you hear him talking, he's I don't know if I can pull something up here. Let me see if I can get something just on Jim Rohn. His voice is funny. He's got an interesting way of talking. And he is funny, I have to say. Let's see, have we got one of the familiar ones to me? There's some crappy ones on here. People have added music and stuff to the background, but let's have a look.
Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you become more than you are.
Alright, so I've got some bloody conflict with the program, the scene switcher program in here. Why is it switching that on to live? I'll tell you. This is part of the process I'm talking about. Things are going to go wrong on the fly. So when I'm pressing that video, it's supposed to just automatically pop up onto your screen and you can see it. But what's happening is, if I press it,
that's the challenge.
It's actually bringing up start stream scene. Do you know, I'll find it probably immediately after this, and it'll be like one thing. But when you're live and your things are gone out, what can you do? So I'll just have to leave you with the thought. Jim Rohn, good, interesting one to look up and find his video. Play it in your own time. He's got a bunch of them on there on YouTube. And yeah, I've listened. I have some of his audio that I play in the car, and that is one of the things that I might share those the audios or links to them later on of some of the audio that I played with the whole reprogramming your mind thing, because for years I was just playing them over and over and over again, and it did start to sink in. And then over the last couple of years I felt like, oh, I know all of this, and I stopped listening to some of the stuff, and I've found that your thoughts can get away from you a little bit when you're not staying on top of it. So I've started re-watching some of the old videos, re-listening to some of the old audio that I used to use, and it does help. It helps quite a lot. It just reminds you little small things that you might have forgot, little tiny strategies, little small pieces of the combination, the key to the lock, the little pieces of the puzzle that you may have forgot, just strategies, coping mechanisms, or ways to approach things that you can just let slip away from you. And then again, you have a failure, something goes wrong, you don't succeed, and you're like, what the hell, why is this not working? But having this kind of toolkit list of, whether it's books, audio, video, courses, whatever the case may be, to revisit and to sharpen and just help you refresh those skills, those coping mechanisms, and things that you have for any kind of area in life. It's not just to do with tech or business or career, but just in life in general, relationships, people, dealing with your own mind, dealing with your health and wellness, your mental well-being. There are so many things, and that's really number one. Health and wellness are really number one. This is something I said a few times. So that's after the next week is the guest week, but after that we're going to touch on health and wellness. We probably will with our special guest next week also, because it's an important thing that I've actually discussed with him on many occasions. Very, very important. But revisiting some of these things has it's been nice to just reiterate, or it just refreshes that in your mind. small little tools that you can use day to day that do help. And I have a bunch of books that I was showing there last week, and some new ones that I want to read soon, and hopefully I can get some more information out of that, summarize some of that, share it on here. And you know, if you pick up one positive thing, one useful tool from these different tools available, well then it's great. I mean, just take one thing, one positive thing, one useful thing from whatever it is that you're learning, you're looking at, taking notes from. They all add up, and over time they add up so much that the cumulative effect is snowballs, and that can lead to great things. So yeah, after this I'll be fixing the bloody scene switcher on this so that it can actually play my YouTube videos. I obviously broke it on Wednesday, and I thought it was all good after testing, but more testing required, and it'll be all good next week. Okay, we're past the 45-minute mark, and after having some nice issues in between with this system, I'm ready to maybe go down and chill on the rest of the Saturday night, watch a bit of TV with the missus, my wife, and relax for the remainder of the night, which will probably be up till 12, 1 o'clock or something like that, thinking about how this went and looking at where the streams went. Did they all get posted, or did they all show up where they were supposed to show up? So next week we have our first special guest on. As I said, it's my brother Gary O'Mara, co-author of this book that I mentioned. Let me show it once more. You see that on there? And we'll be myself and my older brother Gary, who's coming on next week, we have some great conversations. I've had a lot of crazy and great conversations over the years, so hoping to share some nuggets between the two of us and see how that turns out on the conference call, bringing them in here on the live stream next week. And I hope you can all join and see how it turns out. If all the tech is working great, well then I'm sure you'll get a laugh out of the conversation. We always have interesting chats. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be our first one. And I'm happy he's agreed to come on to be the first guest on this show, if we're going to call it a show. The live Saturday night series that this is. So yeah, join us next week for that one. Really looking forward to it. Let me make sure that my stuff is keyed up correctly here to finish up this stream now in a moment, because I think we're just about there. Almost, we're not quite an hour in, but we're over the 45-minute mark. Again, I just want to thank everyone for joining. This wasn't a flawless live Saturday night stream by any means. Few hiccups, few minor tech things, but that's life, and I'll learn from them and make them better. I'm sure in a few months this will be you'll swear I had a whole team of TV technicians in here. I hope it'll seem like that when I get all this running super smooth. It's not too bad, but yeah, it improves each time you get to do it. You learn something from it, you get better, and you move on. That's the way it goes. So I think we're going to wrap it up there, let everybody get on with the Saturday, and I'm going to go and try and relax for the rest of the night that's left. So thanks very much for joining on this live Saturday night. Really appreciate it. And I hope you picked up even one small thing, maybe from one of the quotes that we had up there on screen, or even if you get to look at Jim Rohn and you find something useful there that can help you. That'll be a job well done. This will have been a successful live stream. Thanks again. Hope you have a great night. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.